The day Earth fell silent, the morning sun rose over colony world New Dawn like any other day. Children laughed in the playgrounds. Human families walked to work. Nobody knew this would be their last peaceful moment. 8-year-old Sarah Chen played with her toy spaceship outside the colony dome. Her mother watched from the window, smiling. Life was good here, safe. The Galaxy Empire protected them. Or so they believed. "Mommy, look. I'm flying to Earth," Sarah shouted, running with her arms spread wide. Her mother waved. "Be careful, sweetie." Those were the last normal words ever spoken on New Dawn. The sky turned dark. Not from clouds, from ships. Hundreds of them. Empire warships dropping from space like falling stars. But these stars brought death. Colony alarms screamed. Red lights flashed everywhere. Parents grabbed their children and ran toward the evacuation centers. Confusion filled the streets. "This is a drill, right?" someone asked. "No," a security officer whispered, staring at his screen. "They're powering weapons. Empire ships are powering weapons." It made no sense. The Empire was humanity's ally. Humans followed every rule, paid every tax, caused no trouble. Why would they attack? Commander Chen, Sarah's father, rushed to the colony defense center. His hands shook as he opened communication channels. "Empire fleet, this is New Dawn colony. Why are you here? We've done nothing wrong." Static. Then a cold voice answered. "Humans breed too fast. Your population grows too quick. The Galaxy Council has decided. This is necessary population control." Commander Chen's blood turned to ice. "There are 5,000 children here. Innocent children." "Exactly," the Empire commander said. 5,000 future humans. 5,000 future problems. "Goodbye, Commander Chen." The channel went dead. "Get the children to the ships," Commander Chen screamed. "Everyone! Protect the children. Get them off this planet now." Parents ran through burning streets. Mothers carried babies. Fathers pulled children by their hands. The evacuation ships were so close. Just 200 more meters. Little Sarah ran with her mother. Her toy spaceship fell from her hands. She turned back to get it. "Sarah, no." Her mother screamed. The first Empire weapon struck. The blast wave threw everyone to the ground. Buildings exploded into dust. The evacuation ships tried to launch, but Empire fighters shot them down one by one. They fell from the sky like broken birds. Commander Chen watched from the defense center. Tears ran down his face. He could see everything on the screens. Every street, every corner, every child. He saw his daughter. He saw his wife covering Sarah with her own body. "Please," he whispered to the screen. "Please, no." The second wave of Empire weapons hit the evacuation zones. When the light faded, nothing moved. Commander Chen fell to his knees. Around him, his officers stared in shock. Some cried. Some just sat in silence, broken. Send the transmission to Earth," Commander Chen whispered. Tell them they're all gone. Every single child. Every single one." The message took 3 days to reach Earth. When it arrived, the world stopped. Parents who had sent their children to New Dawn for a better life collapsed in the streets. Schools held moments of silence. The news showed one image over and over, a child's toy spaceship floating in space among the debris, Sarah's toy, the one she dropped. The Galaxy Council made an official statement. The action taken at New Dawn was unfortunate but necessary. Human population expansion threatened galactic stability. No further action will be taken if humans comply with new birth limits. No apology, no sympathy, just cold, calculated words. The human government sent requests for meetings, sent messages demanding justice, sent pleas to other species for support. Everyone ignored them. The galaxy turned its back on humanity. In the Earth Defense Command Center, Admiral Marcus Stone stood before the window, staring at the stars. Around him, military leaders argued about what to do next. "We must respond. We can't fight the entire empire. They killed our children and called it necessary." Admiral Stone said nothing. He just stared at the stars. At the darkness between them, finally he spoke. His voice was quiet, cold, different. "For 200 years we showed the galaxy our best side. We were peaceful, kind. We followed their rules. We believed in their laws." He turned to face the room. His eyes had changed. Something ancient and terrible had awakened behind them. "They don't know us. They never knew us. They saw our smile and thought we were weak. They saw our peace and thought we were harmless. He walked to the star map and pressed a button. Hidden military bases appeared across human space. Bases the galaxy didn't know existed. Weapons humanity had never revealed. We chose peace. They thought we had no choice. The room went silent. Admiral Stone's next words were barely a whisper, but everyone heard them clearly. Now they'll see what humans become when you take everything from us. On the screens behind him, a countdown began. Days until Operation Reckoning, the galaxy had killed humanity's children. Now humanity would show the galaxy why mercy was a choice and what happens when that choice is taken away. The Empire's mistake. The Empire Council chamber sparkled with victory celebrations. Alien leaders from a dozen species raised their drinks and laughed. They had solved the human problem without losing a single Empire soldier. To population control, Chancellor Vex announced, his 3 eyes gleaming with satisfaction. The council members cheered. They felt powerful, smart, in control. The humans have gone quiet, Military Commander Zarth reported. No protests, no demands, nothing. They accepted their punishment like obedient pets. Chancellor Vex smiled. Of course they did. Humans are weak, emotional. They cry, they grieve, then they forget. They always forget. In 1 year, this will all be history. One member of the council did not celebrate. Dr. Krell, a scientist who had studied Earth for 20 years, sat in the corner with worry in his eyes. Something is wrong, he whispered to himself. Nobody listened. Across the galaxy, Empire patrol ships continued their normal routes. Everything seemed peaceful, too peaceful. Captain Thawne commanded Patrol Ship 7 near the border of human space. His crew relaxed at their stations. This route was always boring. Humans never caused trouble. "Sir, I'm detecting something strange," his sensor officer said. "Strange how?" "Human space. There's no communication. No ship traffic. No broadcasts, nothing. It's like they all disappeared." Captain Thawne laughed. "They're probably still crying about New Dawn. Humans are always so dramatic. Mark it in the log and move on." That was Captain Thawne's last order. His ship never reported again. 3 hours later, Patrol Ship 12 went silent, then Patrol Ship 3, then 15 more. No distress calls. No emergency signals. No explosions detected. The ships simply vanished. In the Empire Command Center, alarms started ringing. "We've lost contact with 23 patrol ships near human space," a frightened officer reported. Commander Zarth frowned. "Pirates. Equipment failure. Unknown, sir. They just disappeared. No signs of attack. No debris, nothing. Send investigation teams. Find out what happened." The investigation teams never came back either. Dr. Krell rushed into the council chamber carrying his research tablet. His hands shook. "You must listen to me. I've been studying humans for 20 years. We made a terrible mistake." Chancellor Vex waved his hand dismissively. "Sit down, Krell. The human matter is finished." "No, you don't understand what humans are," Dr. Krell shouted. He activated his tablet, projecting images in the air. "Every other species in this galaxy hunts for food, for territory, for resources. But humans are the only species that hunts for revenge." The council members shifted uncomfortably. Dr. Krell continued, his voice desperate. "Humans have a word in their language, vengeance. They will travel across galaxies, across years, across anything to punish those who hurt them. It's in their nature, in their history, in their DNA." "Ridiculous," Commander Zarth laughed. "They're peaceful. We've known them for 200 years. They chose to be peaceful," Dr. Krell screamed. The room went silent. "Don't you see? They had the power to fight. They always had it. But they chose peace. They chose kindness. And we killed their children. We took away their choice." Chancellor Vex stood up angry. "You're being dramatic. Humans are weak. We destroyed their colony with ease. If they were strong, they would have defended it." Dr. Krell's shoulders dropped. "You still don't understand. They didn't defend it because they trusted you. They believed in your laws, in your honor. But now," he pulled up more data, "ancient human history, their wars, their weapons, their capacity for destruction. When pushed too far, humans had something called world war. They fought each other and nearly destroyed their own planet. Twice, they created weapons that could burn entire continents. Then they looked at what they'd done and chose to never use those weapons again. They chose peace. Not because they were weak, because they were terrified of their own power. The council chamber grew quiet, and we just gave them a reason to stop choosing peace. Dr. Krell whispered. Commander Zarth waved his hand. Even if you're right, we have 10,000 warships. The humans have maybe 500 small vessels. The mathematics are simple. Dr. Krell started to respond, but an alarm cut him off. Every screen in the council chamber lit up red. Human fleet detected at Sector 7. Human fleet detected at Sector 12. Human fleet detected at Sector 20. Commander Zarth ran to the main screen. Show me. The image appeared. Every council member gasped. Ships, hundreds of human ships. But these weren't the small trading vessels the galaxy knew. These were warships. Massive, dark, covered in weapons that no database recognized. Where did those come from? Chancellor Vex whispered. Dr. Krell closed his eyes. They were always there, hidden, waiting, hoping they'd never need to use them. The largest human ship appeared on the main screen. It was 3 times bigger than any Empire battleship. Its hull was black as space itself. Weapons lined every surface. They're sending a message, the communications officer said, his voice shaking. The message appeared on screen. Just 2 words in simple human English. We're coming. Chancellor Vex fell back into his chair. Send diplomatic teams. Offer negotiations. Offer compensations. Offer anything. Sir, the communications officer whispered. They're not accepting any communications. They're just coming. The human fleet moved forward slowly. Not rushing, not hurrying. Just moving with terrible, patient purpose, like hunters who knew their prey had nowhere to run. Dr. Krell looked at the council members' terrified faces. I tried to warn you. Humans have another word in their language. A word that should terrify every species in this galaxy. What word? Chancellor Vex asked. Dr. Krell's answer was simple. Inevitable. On the screens, more human fleets appeared. From every direction, surrounding Empire space like a closing fist. Commander Zarth's voice cracked. How many ships do they have? The sensor officer checked his screen 3 times before answering. Sir, over 2,000 warships, and they're still coming. But that's impossible. Where did they build them? How did we not know? Dr. Krell smiled sadly. Because you never asked the right question. You asked, are humans dangerous? The answer was always, only if you make them. The human fleet stopped at the border of Empire space, waiting, weapons charged, ready. Inside the council chamber, Chancellor Vex made a choice he never thought he'd make. Activate all military forces. Prepare every ship, call every ally. He looked at the human fleet on the screen, at those dark, terrible ships that humanity had hidden for 200 years. We're going to war. Dr. Krell shook his head. No, Chancellor. War is 2 sides fighting. What's about to happen? This is something else. This is what happens when you hurt a species that chose to be kind. On every screen, the human ships began to move forward again, slow, patient, unstoppable. And somewhere in the darkness of space, Admiral Marcus Stone sat in his command chair, looking at the Empire capital on his screens. His officers waited for orders. Sir, one asked, what are your commands? Admiral Stone's voice was cold as frozen stars. They wanted to teach us a lesson about population control. Now we teach them a lesson about human nature. Begin Operation Reckoning. The human fleet accelerated into Empire space. The galaxy would never be the same. When Mercy died, Empire military bases across the galaxy erupted into chaos. Alarms screamed. Soldiers ran to their battle stations. Ships launched into space by the thousands. Commander Zarth stood in the Empire war room, watching his fleet assemble. 10,000 warships, the largest military force ever gathered in galactic history. We outnumber them 20 to 1, he told his officers. Humans may have hidden ships, but they're still just humans. We have experience. We have numbers. We have superior technology. His confidence spread through the room. Officers nodded. They had fought dozens of wars. Won everyone. Humans were newcomers to the galaxy. What did they know about real war? Fleet is in position, sir, the tactical officer reported. Human ships approaching Sector 9. Commander Zarth smiled. Open a channel. Let's remind them who they're dealing with. The communication screen activated. But instead of Admiral Stone, a young human captain appeared. A woman with cold eyes and a scar across her face. I am Captain Morrison. of the human defense fleet. You have 30 seconds to power down your weapons and surrender. The Empire officers laughed. Commander Zarth leaned forward. Look at your screens, human. We have 10,000 ships. You have 500. The mathematics are simple. Stand down and we might show mercy. Captain Morrison didn't blink. You don't understand math, Commander. You're counting ships. We're counting graves. 30 seconds are up. She cut the transmission. Arrogant creatures, Commander Zarth muttered. All ships open fire. Destroy them. 10,000 Empire ships fired at once. Energy beams filled space like a deadly light show. Enough firepower to destroy a planet. The weapons hit the human fleet, and nothing happened. Empire officers stared at their screens in confusion. Direct hits confirmed, the weapons officer reported. But their shields absorbed everything, not even a scratch. What kind of shields are those? Someone whispered. They got their answer when the human ships fired back. The weapons were like nothing the galaxy had ever seen. Blue energy beams that cut through Empire ships like paper. Missiles that split into hundreds of smaller missiles. Weapons that made Empire vessels simply stop working and drift dead in space. In 15 minutes, 1,000 Empire ships were destroyed. In 30 minutes, 3,000 more were gone. Commander Zarth watched in horror as his fleet fell apart. Retreat. All ships retreat. But human ships were faster. They chased down fleeing vessels one by one. No escape. No mercy. When the battle ended 2 hours later, 9,000 Empire ships were destroyed or captured. The human fleet had lost 0 ships. Not one. Captain Morrison opened communication again. This time her message went to every Empire world, every species, every corner of the galaxy. You wanted to know what humans are capable of. Now you're learning. But this isn't revenge. This is justice. She paused, her expression hard. You killed our children while they slept. You told us it was necessary. Now you'll learn what humans find necessary. The transmission ended. In the Empire Council chamber, Chancellor Vex stared at the battle reports with shaking hands. 90% of their military fleet gone in one battle. This can't be happening, he whispered. Dr. Krell sat in the corner, his face pale. I told you. You didn't listen. What do we do? One council member cried. They'll destroy us all. Before anyone could answer, reports started flooding in from across the Empire. Human forces detected at Colony Theta. Human ships surrounding Mining World 7. Human fleet approaching industrial planet Korax. But something strange happened. The humans didn't destroy these worlds. They didn't kill civilians. Instead, human ships broadcast the same message to every colony. You have 6 hours to evacuate. Take your families. Take your belongings. Leave. This world is being reclaimed. Confused civilians packed their things and boarded evacuation ships. Human vessels waited patiently, not firing, just waiting. When the 6 hours ended and everyone was safely away, human ships used their weapons on the empty planets, not to destroy. To erase, every building was carefully demolished. Every military base was dismantled. Every factory was torn down. But parks were left untouched. Forests remained. Water stayed clean. The planets weren't destroyed. They were emptied. Reset. Made new again. On one colony world, an old alien grandmother watched from her evacuation ship as humans systematically removed every structure from her home planet. Why? She asked a human soldier guarding the refugees. Why not just kill us? We're your enemies. The soldier, a young man barely 20 years old, looked at her with sad eyes. Because that's what you did to us. You killed children. Innocents, we won't become you. We'll show you what you should have been. The grandmother started crying, not from fear, from shame. Across the galaxy, the same scene repeated, world after world, colony after colony. Humans evacuated everyone safely, then erased every trace of Empire occupation. It was systematic, efficient, and absolutely terrifying. In the Empire Council chamber, arguments exploded. We must surrender. One member shouted, never! We fight to the last ship. Another yelled, with what ships? They destroyed our fleet. We still have the Home Defense Force. 10,000 more ships protecting the capital. Chancellor Vex listened to them argue. His 3 eyes were dull with despair. They still didn't understand. Dr. Krell stood up slowly. "May I speak?" The room went quiet. The humans aren't trying to conquer us. They're teaching us a lesson. They're showing us exactly what we did to them, but they're doing it without killing innocents. They're being better than us. And that makes it so much worse. What do you mean? Chancellor Vex asked. Dr. Krell walked to the main screen showing a map of the galaxy. Red marks showed every world humans had emptied. There were dozens. Soon there would be hundreds, don't you see? They could kill us all, easily, but they won't, because that would make them monsters like us. Instead, they're dismantling our empire piece by piece, showing the entire galaxy that we were the villains. Not them, us. The room fell silent as the truth sank in. They're not conquering. Dr. Krell continued quietly. They're judging, and the entire galaxy is watching. An officer burst into the chamber. "Sirs, human fleet detected entering the capital system." Everyone rushed to the screens. There, emerging from hyperspace, was the largest human fleet yet. Hundreds of warships surrounded the Empire homeworld, the planet where 1 billion civilians lived. Men, women, and children of the Empire's ruling species. Admiral Stone's face appeared on every screen across the capital planet. The entire Empire held its breath. "People of the Empire," Admiral Stone began. His voice was calm, too calm. "Your leaders killed 5,000 human children. They called it necessary population control. Inside homes across the planet, families hugged each other, terrified. We now have your entire planet surrounded." Admiral Stone continued. "Our weapons are charged. We could destroy all of you in minutes, just like you destroyed our children." In the council chamber, Chancellor Vex fell to his knees. "Please," he whispered to the screen. "Please, no." Admiral Stone's face showed no emotion. "Your leaders ask for mercy. The same mercy they showed our 8-year-old children. The same mercy they showed parents begging for their babies' lives." His hand moved toward a button. The galaxy watched, waiting, knowing what was coming. 1 billion lives. One button. Admiral Stone's finger hovered over it, and then he stopped. He looked directly into the camera, into the eyes of every being watching across the galaxy. "No," he said simply. Confusion rippled across the Empire homeworld. "We won't kill you," Admiral Stone continued. "Not because you deserve mercy, but because killing innocents is what you do, not what we do. We are humans, and humans choose who they are, even when choosing is hard." He paused. "But make no mistake, your empire is over. Your military is destroyed. Your colonies are freed, and your leaders will stand trial for their crimes." On the council chamber floor, Chancellor Vex wept. Admiral Stone's final words echoed across the galaxy. "We showed you our best side for 200 years, and you thought we were weak. Today you learned we're strong. Tomorrow you'll learn something more important. We're just..." The transmission ended. The Empire had fallen in 30 days, not through massacre, through judgment. The choice. The human fleet surrounded the Empire homeworld like a steel cage. 1 billion civilians looked up at the sky and saw their doom hanging in orbit. Massive warships, weapons that could burn their planet to ash in minutes, but the weapons didn't fire. Days passed. Then weeks. The humans just waited. Inside the Empire Council chamber, the leaders who had ordered the death of human children now sat in silence. No more celebrations, no more arrogance, just fear. Chancellor Vex stared at his hands. Hands that had signed the order to destroy New Dawn Colony. Hands that had killed 5,000 children. What are they waiting for? He whispered. Dr. Krell, the scientist who had tried to warn them, sat nearby. "They're deciding," he said quietly. "Deciding what kind of species they want to be." On the human flagship, the command center buzzed with tension. Officers stood at their stations waiting for orders. The weapon systems were charged. Ready. One command from Admiral Stone and the Empire homeworld would die. Young Lieutenant Chen stood near the Admiral's chair. Sarah Chen's cousin. His family had died on New Dawn. "Sir," Lieutenant Chen said, his voice shaking with emotion, "we can end them. Right now. Just like they ended our children. The weapons are ready. Just give the order." Other officers nodded. They had all lost someone. Parents, children, brothers, sisters, friends. Admiral Stone sat in his command chair, staring at the planet below. 1 billion lives, many of them innocent, children who had nothing to do with the Council's decision. Children like Sarah Chen had been. "Sir," Lieutenant Chen pressed. "They deserve this. They killed our babies. They laughed about it. They called it necessary. Now we show them what necessary really means." Admiral Stone closed his eyes. In his mind, he saw Sarah playing with her toy spaceship, saw her mother covering her with her own body, saw the light of Empire weapons erasing them both. His hand moved toward the firing button. The entire command center held its breath. "No," Admiral Stone whispered. "Sir." Lieutenant Chen stepped forward. "Sir, please. My cousin was 8 years old. Sarah was 8. They burned her alive. We have to—" "I know!" Admiral Stone roared, standing up. His eyes were filled with tears. "I know what they did. I see those children every time I close my eyes. Every single one of them." The command center went silent. Admiral Stone's voice dropped to a whisper. "And that's exactly why we can't do this." He walked to the main view screen showing the planet below, showing cities, homes, families. "If we kill them, we become them," Admiral Stone said. "We become the monsters who kill children." And then Sarah died for nothing. They all died for nothing. Lieutenant Chen's face twisted with pain. "But sir, justice isn't revenge," Admiral Stone said firmly. "Justice is being better than those who hurt us." He turned to face his crew. Every officer, every soldier, all of them carrying grief, all of them wanting vengeance. "I'm gonna make a choice right now," Admiral Stone said. "Not as your admiral, as a human being, and you all have to make the same choice." He activated the galaxy-wide broadcast system. Every species, every world, every being would hear this. "This is Admiral Marcus Stone of the Human Defense Fleet," he began. "For 30 days we have dismantled the empire that killed our children. We destroyed their military. We freed their colonies. We proved we have the power to end them completely." On the Empire homeworld, civilians gathered around screens, some praying, some crying, all waiting for death. "The Empire's leaders sit in their council chamber right now, waiting for us to kill them," Admiral Stone continued. "They expect us to do to them what they did to us, to kill innocents, to murder children, to prove that might makes right." He paused, his voice growing stronger. "But that would make us them, and we are not them." Across the galaxy, billions of beings listened in shock. "Humans don't just survive," Admiral Stone said. "We choose who we are. We choose our actions. We choose our justice. And right now, humanity chooses mercy." On the Empire homeworld, a mother holding her child started crying. Not from fear, from relief. "But understand this," Admiral Stone's voice turned hard as steel. "Mercy is not weakness. Justice is not revenge. We will not kill your civilians. We will not harm your children. But your leaders will stand trial for their crimes." The broadcast shifted to show the Empire Council chamber. Human soldiers had surrounded the building. Chancellor Vex, Commander Zarth, all council members who voted for the destruction of New Dawn Colony. Admiral Stone announced, "You are hereby charged with crimes against sentient life. You will face trial before the Galaxy Court. You will answer for every child you killed." Human soldiers entered the council chamber. The Empire leaders didn't resist. How could they? They had seen what human weapons could do. As soldiers placed restraints on Chancellor Vex, he looked up at the camera. "Why?" he asked, his voice broken. "Why show us mercy? We showed you none." Admiral Stone's face appeared on the screen again. "Because Sarah Chen was 8 years old. She loved toy spaceships. She dreamed of visiting Earth someday. And when your weapons came, her mother died protecting her." The Admiral's voice cracked slightly. "Sarah would have grown up to be kind, generous, good. Because that's what humans teach our children. Not hate, not revenge, kindness." He straightened his eyes hard. "You tried to end humanity's future. Instead, you reminded us what our future should be. A galaxy where children are protected, where the strong protect the weak, where justice means something more than power." The broadcast shifted to show Empire military bases being dismantled, their weapons being destroyed, their warships being decommissioned. "The Empire is finished," Admiral Stone declared. "Your military is dissolved. Your colonies are free. Humans will remain as peacekeepers until new governments are established. Fair governments. Just governments. He leaned closer to the camera. We showed you mercy. We showed you justice. We showed you that humans can be pushed to the edge of darkness and still choose the light. His final words rang across the galaxy. But never, ever forget what you saw when you pushed us. We chose peace for 200 years. We chose kindness. We chose cooperation. Those were choices, not weaknesses. And if you ever threaten our children again, we will choose differently. The transmission ended. In the human flagship command center, Lieutenant Chen stood quietly. Tears ran down his face. "Sir," he said softly, "I wanted them to burn. I wanted them to feel what Sarah felt." Admiral Stone put his hand on the young officer's shoulder. "So did I, Lieutenant. Every second of every day. But Sarah wouldn't have wanted that. None of our children would have. They were innocent, and we honor them by staying innocent ourselves." Lieutenant Chen nodded slowly. "It's hard, sir, choosing mercy when you want revenge." "That's why it matters," Admiral Stone said. "Easy choices don't define us. Hard ones do." On the Empire homeworld, the mother who had been holding her child looked up at the sky, at the human ships that could have killed her family but didn't. She whispered 2 words: "Thank you." Across the galaxy, other species watched in awe. The humans had won total victory. They had the power to conquer everything, to rule through fear, and they chose not to. Dr. Krell, released from the council chamber, gave an interview to Galactic News. "I studied humans for 20 years, he said. "I warned the council that humans were dangerous when threatened. But I was wrong about something important." "What were you wrong about?" the reporter asked. Dr. Krell smiled sadly. "I thought their danger made them terrifying. But what makes humans truly special is that they're dangerous and kind. They have the power to destroy, and the wisdom not to." The reporter looked confused. "I don't understand." "You will," Dr. Krell said. "In time, the whole galaxy will understand. We tried to break humanity by taking their future. Instead, they gave us all a better one." On Earth, in a quiet memorial garden built where New Dawn Colony once stood, a single flower was planted for each child who died. 5,000 flowers. Parents came to visit, to grieve, to remember, and to teach their remaining children an important lesson: that being strong means protecting the weak, that being powerful means choosing justice, that being human means staying human, even when the universe tries to make you a monster. 10 years would pass before the galaxy fully understood what happened. But on this day, humanity made its choice: not revenge, not conquest, justice, mercy, humanity. The new galaxy 10 years later, a small alien child named Crix sat in her classroom on the planet that used to be called Empire Colony 7. Now, it was simply called Freedom's Light. Her teacher, an elderly human woman named Mrs. Patterson, wrote on the board, "History lesson, the day everything changed." Crix raised her hand. "Teacher, is it true? About the humans? Did it really happen?" Mrs. Patterson smiled gently. She had lived through those dark days. She remembered. "Yes, Crix, it really happened. But why?" Another student asked. "Why didn't the humans destroy the Empire? They had the power." "Everyone says so." Mrs. Patterson sat on her desk, looking at the young faces before her. Alien children and human children sitting together, learning together, growing up together. Something that would have been impossible 10 years ago. "Let me tell you a story," she began, "about a choice. The hardest choice ever made." The children leaned forward, listening. 10 years ago, humans could have conquered the entire galaxy. We had weapons nobody knew about. We had ships that could defeat any fleet. We had the power to rule through fear. She paused. But we also had something more important. We had Sarah Chen's memory, and the memory of 5,000 other children who believed the galaxy was good. Crix's eyes widened. "The children who died on New Dawn?" "Yes," Mrs. Patterson nodded. "Those children trusted the Empire. They believed in peace. And when they died, humanity had to decide, do we honor their memory through revenge, or through building the galaxy they dreamed of?" A human boy in the back raised his hand. "My grandfather was on Admiral Stone's ship. He said everyone wanted to fire the weapons. Everyone wanted the Empire to pay. They did." Mrs. Patterson agreed. The pain was enormous. The anger was justified. But Admiral Stone understood something important. What? The class asked together. That becoming monsters to punish monsters means the monsters win. The classroom fell silent as the children thought about this. Mrs. Patterson continued. So instead of revenge, humans chose justice. Instead of destruction, we chose rebuilding. And look what happened. She gestured to the window. Outside, the city gleamed with new buildings. Parks filled with playing children. Humans and aliens working side by side. The empire fell, but the people survived. And we built something better together. Across the galaxy, on the planet that used to be the Empire homeworld, a memorial stood in the center of the capital city. It was a simple monument. A wall made of white stone. On it were carved 5,000 names, every human child who died on New Dawn. But surrounding the wall were 5,000 trees, each planted by a family from the former Empire. An apology in living form, a promise to never forget. An old alien woman visited the memorial every day. She had been a council member's wife. She had attended the celebration when New Dawn burned. Now she came to ask forgiveness from children who could no longer hear her. Today, as she placed flowers at the memorial, a human man approached. He wore a simple suit. His hair was gray now. Admiral Marcus Stone, retired. The woman recognized him immediately. She fell to her knees. Please, she whispered. Please forgive me, I knew what they were going to do and I said nothing. I did nothing. Admiral Stone stood silently for a moment. Then he knelt beside her. Do you have children? He asked gently. Yes, she sobbed. 2 daughters. They were young then. They're grown now. They have children of their own. And if we had fired our weapons 10 years ago? Admiral Stone asked softly. Your daughters would have died. Your grandchildren would never have been born. The woman nodded, tears streaming down her face. That's why we didn't fire, Admiral Stone said. Not for you, not for the council. For them, for the innocent, for the children who deserved a future, even if their leaders didn't. He stood and helped her to her feet. The past can't be changed, but the future can be built. Your grandchildren are growing up in a better galaxy. That's enough. The woman watched him walk away, her heart breaking and healing at the same time. In the new Galaxy Council chamber, representatives from 100 worlds gathered. The old empire was gone. In its place stood the Federation of Free Worlds, and humans, once dismissed as weak newcomers, now served as the peacekeepers, not through force, through example. The new galaxy 10 years later. A small alien child named Crix sat in her classroom on the planet that used to be called Empire Colony 7. Now it was simply called Freedom's Light. Her teacher, an elderly human woman named Mrs. Patterson, wrote on the board, History lesson the day everything changed. Crix raised her hand. Teacher, is it true? About the humans? Did it really happen? Mrs. Patterson smiled gently. She had lived through those dark days. She remembered, yes, Crix, it really happened, but why? Another student asked, why didn't the humans destroy the Empire? They had the power. Everyone says so. Mrs. Patterson sat on her desk, looking at the young faces before her. Alien children and human children sitting together, learning together, growing up together, something that would have been impossible 10 years ago. Let me tell you a story, she began, about a choice. The hardest choice ever made. The children leaned forward, listening. 10 years ago, humans could have conquered the entire galaxy. We had weapons nobody knew about. We had ships that could defeat any fleet. We had the power to rule through fear. She paused. But we also had something more important. We had Sarah Chen's memory, and the memory of 5,000 other children who believed the galaxy was good. Crix's eyes widened. The children who died on New Dawn? Yes, Mrs. Patterson nodded. Those children trusted the Empire. They believed in peace, and when they died, humanity had to decide. Do we honor their memory through revenge? Or through building the galaxy they dreamed of? A human boy in the back raised his hand. My grandfather was on Admiral Stone's ship. He said everyone wanted to fire the weapons. Everyone wanted the Empire to pay. They did, Mrs. Patterson agreed. The pain was enormous. The anger was justified. But Admiral Stone understood something important. What? The class asked together that becoming monsters to punish monsters means the monsters win. The classroom fell silent as the children thought about this. Mrs. Patterson continued, "So instead of revenge, humans chose justice. Instead of destruction, we chose rebuilding. And look what happened." She gestured to the window. Outside, the city gleamed with new buildings, parks filled with playing children, humans and aliens working side by side. The empire fell, but the people survived, and we built something better together. Across the galaxy, on the planet that used to be the Empire homeworld, a memorial stood in the center of the capital city. It was a simple monument, a wall made of white stone. On it were carved 5,000 names, every human child who died on New Dawn. But surrounding the wall were 5,000 trees, each planted by a family from the former empire. An apology in living form, a promise to never forget. An old alien woman visited the memorial every day. She had been a council member's wife. She had attended the celebration when New Dawn burned. Now she came to ask forgiveness from children who could no longer hear her. Today, as she placed flowers at the memorial, a human man approached. He wore a simple suit. His hair was gray now. Admiral Marcus Stone, retired. The woman recognized him immediately. She fell to her knees. "Please," she whispered. "Please forgive me. I knew what they were going to do, and I said nothing. I did nothing." Admiral Stone stood silently for a moment. Then he knelt beside her. "Do you have children?" he asked gently. "Yes," she sobbed. "2 daughters. They were young then. They're grown now. They have children of their own. And if we had fired our weapons 10 years ago," Admiral Stone asked softly, "your daughters would have died. Your grandchildren would never have been born." The woman nodded, tears streaming down her face. "That's why we didn't fire," Admiral Stone said. "Not for you, not for the council, for them, for the innocent, for the children who deserved a future even if their leaders didn't." He stood and helped her to her feet. "The past can't be changed, but the future can be built. Your grandchildren are growing up in a better galaxy. That's enough." The woman watched him walk away, her heart breaking and healing at the same time. In the new Galaxy Council chamber, representatives from 100 worlds gathered. The old empire was gone. In its place stood the Federation of Free Worlds, and humans, once dismissed as weak newcomers, now served as the peacekeepers. Not through force, through example.